Gary Peters unveiled two new bills addressing contamination issues on military bases. The military's use of a firefighting foam has caused substances known as PFAS to contaminate sites across the country. The $10 billion investment will protect military communities from the chemicals and ensure families have access to pollutant-free drinking water. It will also help the Department of Defense in identifying the sites. Two of Michigan's most contaminated bases are on the priority list. If you build a car or truck, you're going to have to keep on wearing your mask. Here's Autobeat reporter Jeff Gilbert.
Even as the rest of society opens up more, the auto industry's COVID-19 task force says they're sticking with masks, safety glasses, social distancing, and hand washing. The words abundance of caution were used twice in their statement. They'll phase out some procedures, including temperature scanning at plants. Car companies have said their protocols have prevented the spread of disease at auto facilities.
The Michigan Liquor Control Commission is urging everyone to consume alcohol safely and responsibly this summer. The warning comes as bars and restaurants are opening back up. The commission says don't drink and drive or drink while boating, since operating a boat while drinking is similar to drunk driving. Using fireworks while drinking is also not recommended, or drinking while watching your kids near water. Overindulging during the heat can cause dehydration, so the commission says if you choose to drink in hot weather, remember to alternate alcoholic drinks with a glass of water, or eat foods with a high water content like fruits and vegetables. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 910. I'm Mike Perkins.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Mostly sunny for today. Highs will make it into the middle to upper 80s. Winds east 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly 64. Winds southeast around 5 miles per hour. Friday, lots more sunshine. Highs top out near 88. Winds turn to the east-northeast 5 to 10. Friday night, mostly clear. Lows fall back to 65. Winds stay east-northeast around 5 miles per hour. And then Saturday, partly to mostly sunny. Chance for scattered showers developing by afternoon. Highs reach 85. I'm meteorologist Phil Jensko with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Right now it's 73.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
And a good morning to you. Welcome to another edition of the Art Lewis Show for a Thursday morning. Nice to have you with us. Our show brought to you by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty. For all of your commercial and residential real estate needs, give her a call at 989-295-7713, Linda Shepard. We have a brief period of time with our first guest this morning, so I want to get right to it. We'll have open phones later on, but we say good morning to State Representative Rodney Wakeman. Rep, good morning.
Hello, Art.
Hey, good morning.
How are you today?
Good. Thanks for joining us. All right. Number of things to talk about in limited time to do it. So let's start with one that I wanted to ask you about. The governor vetoed, I think it was 13 pieces of pandemic legislation put out by the legislature. Your thoughts on it?
Well, yeah, this is. She has taken certain collective bills that we have done. Some of the bills that we have done over time with respect to codifying certain and limited executive orders that she had done to over the course of the pandemic.
Right.
Some of these things, what we have tried to do is then codify some. She's even taking some of these and the codification that we attempted to do and nixed them. So they're head scratchers, absolutely. You know, what we've tried to do is make reasonable efforts to open up areas of the government that we think is best suited for the people. Things are opening up, but still to this day, I have to scratch my head. One of, for example, is the most recent and most timely. The graduations are going on right now, for example, and she had an EO that she had done earlier on, and then what we had done is taking the concept of the fact that the schools were able to open up this year in different forms. Schools could open up in person, could open up remote, or a combination thereof. And they were given those options, and they all did it very safely, I might add. So then there was a bill that was introduced to allow for the schools to have graduations, and it more freely and more open, safely. So that the schools could open up safely, but yet the school districts were not able to be, quote unquote, I don't know, smart enough maybe to provide safe graduation exercises. So, again, it's just one of those. It's just one of those head scratchers. And then in the explanation of her veto, she cites money and jobs as her answer, and it kind of goes off the rails in terms of what the whole intent and purpose of the bill is. 4728 that was introduced by Representative Ann Bolin. So I don't get it sometimes. I really don't.
A while ago there was indication that she was going to work with the legislature on things. Have you seen it?
Sporadic at best, and I say that possible terms. What we're trying to do, I think, is how we are approaching this to some of these bills that we presented to her, in which she is ultimately vetoed. This is our way of trying to reasonably interject the legislature. You can go back to the state Supreme Court ruling against her executive orders and bypassing the legislature way back last year. And, the Supreme Court said, no, Governor, you can't do that. You can't bypass the legislature. So
she found a way around it, though.
She found a way around that by using the 1976 statute, right? So, and then moving to the statute that allows the Health and Human Services to then make the pandemic order. So that's the movement that she has done, and we have always been in a position that we do represent the voice of the people, and it's high time that the voice of the people are heard. Just so the listeners understand, their voices are heard by what the legislature can do for them. So that's our goal. We are here. Every legislator, the Senate and the House, every one of us are here for the voice of the people. Yep. And it represents 1/3 of the government.
One of the things I know it was released yesterday from the House is ethics reform, another 13 bill package. What do you expect to happen with this?
Oh, well, it is bipartisan. It is my hope that as it passed out of the House yesterday, all 13 bills and then one House joint resolution, which would make it a 2/3 vote in the Senate to pass that as well too, and then to the vote of the people. We're hoping, that this bill package in and of itself will get through and to the governor's desk so that she can do the right thing and sign on to this. So, I mean, it is sweeping, and it is fully bipartisan too. There have been reps. These are all the House bills, but there's the Dems and Republicans both on each of these bills. So it does conflicts of interest. It talks about State Officer Financial Disclosure Act, and then definitions and Lobbying Registration Act. I mean, one of the pieces is that it would not allow a state legislature who is leaving the legislature to then immediately turn to become a registered lobbyist. That wait period would be extended out to 2 years before that could happen. So that's just one example of what the 13 bill package is doing, and I supported each of the pieces to it.
Another thing that there is a panel looking at is a ban on city income tax for non-residents. Got any thoughts on that?
I haven't seen much in the way of that particular piece as of yet. I know that these sorts of things have been couched and kind of bantered around. I haven't read anything yet on that piece. That's not yet in the forefront of us being able to do an action on it. Something along that line would go to a committee that is different from any committees that I either chair or am on. So I look forward to seeing where that goes too.
Okay, I know you're pressed for time, so one more thing.
Yep.
The governor has created a juvenile task force.
Yep.
To take a look at juvenile law and punishment. What do you think?
Yeah, that is another thing. I just spoke to my legislative director on that this morning, as that news just recently came out as well. As being chair of the Families, Children, and Seniors Committee, we on this committee do talk about juvenile justice and the reforms that we're looking at and are necessary to have, at least be considered. My interest is to know what that group is going to be made of with, is it, bipartisan, and then what kind of areas that are they going to be interested in specifically covering. Again, it's very, very new, and I mean, I didn't see any details from the governor's office to know who's going to actually be involved with that and to what degree. So I'm interested in it because it's, the JJ system is a lot of people look at it and say it's kind of broken. So we've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes and trying to prepare ourselves and trying to work on that system in and of itself. I appreciate the efforts that the others have been doing.
She did this by executive order. Why didn't she just come to the legislature and say we ought to do this?
I don't know, because we, again, at least in the work that I'm doing in my committee, we've been taking up,
Yeah.
to work in subcommittees, and we've been talking a lot about it. So
right.
I don't know. It is something that I think that there's support for in certain areas. So I'm looking forward to see what else can come of it.
Rod, I'll let you go because I know you got to go to a press conference this morning, but we'll talk you down the road.
Yep, as always. Thank you, Art.
You bet. Bye-bye now. Representative Rodney Wakeman, we thank him for joining us here on this edition of the Art Lewis Show here on this Thursday morning. And that'll free us up now for open phones for the remainder of the hour. You can give us a call at 752-6111. Toll free in the state of Michigan, 866-790-WSGW. Outside the state of Michigan, 989-752-6111. Those are the numbers to call. And we would be delighted, I can say that, we would be delighted to chat with you on this Thursday morning. We have a number of things to talk about. We'll do that when we return after these notes.
Summer is a great time to get away. How far away is up to you. Let Capoco Community Credit Union help you get where you want to go with a vacation or staycation loan. See a Capoco Community Credit Union loan officer today and ask how they can help. Whether it's a faraway land or a little getaway close to home, a vacation or staycation is easy with Capoco Community Credit Union. Find out more at capoco.org, member NCUA.
After my father was on a ventilator for 20 days due to COVID, he had so many medications. It really was.
National Institutes of Health. 30% of hospital admissions in older adults are drug-related, like taking meds at the wrong time. Hero simplifies medication management.
I'm so thankful that something like this exists. It holds up to 10 different medications. It's all on an app, and you can share that app with a caregiver. So I can make sure that he got his meds. Is he missing a dose of his meds?
Hero Health's smart pill dispenser alerts and delivers pills with the push of a button.
It is really so easy to use and a literal lifesaver.
Try Hero Health risk-free for 30 days. Get free contactless delivery. Call 800-420-7550. 800-420-7550. That's 800-420-7550. Hero. Medication managed.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for Big E's Sports Grill in Midland. You're going to get a $25 gift certificate for only $12.50. Big E's Sports Grill has 2 patios, 30 beers on tap, including the Moose Brew, half 6-pound prime Angus burgers, hand-tossed pizzas with the option of getting a cauliflower crust, and don't forget the nearly famous nacho, big enough for two, but you might not want to share. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Economists have been expecting the economic recovery to result in fewer layoffs and higher prices, and now we're seeing evidence of that. The Consumer Price Index rose 0.6% in May from April, and it was up 5% in the year ending in May. Excluding food and energy over the past year, the increase is 3.8%. All the readings are hotter than expected, a sign that increasing demand and shipping issues are pushing prices higher. And there were 376,000 new claims for unemployment benefits last week, a pandemic low and down 9,000 from the week before. Jewelry company Signet, parent company of Kay Jewelers Jared and Signet, saw sales at existing stores more than double in the recent quarter. It made money in the period after losing money a year ago. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosolda, invested in you.
Need the perfect Father's Day gift? Get them a shirt from Untuck It. Untuck It shirts are tucked so they feel comfortable and look sharp all day. They also come in sizes and fits for every body, so you can easily find something in his size. This Father's Day, find the perfect present for dad at untuckit.com or one of 80-plus Untuck It stores nationwide. Use code DAD20 for 20% off your first purchase. Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rock Companies. Last year, we saw historically low mortgage interest rates. What you may not know is that interest rates are already starting to increase, and it's likely that trend is only going to continue. Our team of experts is standing by to help you save before rates go up. Don't look back and wish that you had taken action. Call 833-8-ROCKET or visit rocketmortgage.com. Rocket.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states and MLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected. Download the free iHeartRadio app.
Line drive over the glove of a leaping long in right field. Padu around third, heading home, and he will score without a throw. Robbie Grossman delivers a run. 3-0 Tigers in the fifth.
The Tigers play 12:50 today on 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show. Lines wide open for you until 10 o'clock. I want to just chat something I mentioned to Representative Wakeman. There is a panel that's been formed to look at the possibility of banning cities from collecting income tax from people who don't live in the city but work in the city. For example, Saginaw and other big metropolitan areas in the state. And normally what they charge is about half of the tax rate to non-residents. So if you had a job in the city that you're paid for by someone in the city, you would pay half of what city residents pay in income tax. And the arguments go that the city should be banned from collecting income tax from non-residents because it's taxation without representation. The other side of the argument is that those people that come into the city to work use all the services of the city provided by the taxpayers of that city and don't contribute to it. It's old law. It's nothing new. It's been going on for a long time. Cities have been doing this because the law allowed them to do it and still does allow them to do it. It would be very costly to cities if the laws were changed and the tax laws banned them from collecting income tax from non-resident workers. Millions and millions of dollars are collected amongst the various cities that do that in the state of Michigan. It's going to be interesting to see what the panel comes up with and whether or not it actually makes it, if someone proposes a change in the laws, if it actually makes it through the legislature. But it's just something to keep your eye on, something to watch, something happening that we'll, report on from time to time. I want to also touch on something else I've mentioned the last few days, and that's the cruise industry setting sail again from the United States. There is a major controversy between the CDC, which sets the federal guidelines and standards for cruise lines, and the state of Florida, which is banning any business from asking for proof of vaccination and threatening the cruise lines with a $5,000 per passenger fine. I have to be honest, I don't think the state of Florida is going to win this one. And there's going to be a pretty good test case coming up, because it was announced this morning that Norwegian Cruise Lines plans to sail from Fort Lauderdale and is going to require proof of vaccination. So there's your test case right in front of you. And the other thing that's happening, of course, the law has not yet taken effect. So the question is, if the cruise lines book passengers today and require vaccination proof, and then the law comes into effect before sailing, is it retroactive? Chances are it won't be. Now, Celebrity Cruise Lines will be the first one to sail. They'll be sailing out of, I believe, Miami on the Celebrity Edge, and they required proof of vaccination up to this point. Royal Caribbean, which is the parent company, by the way, of Celebrity Cruise Lines, has now said they will refrain from asking for proof of vaccination, but they will strongly suggest that all passengers be vaccinated. It's going to come, I think, to a legal head in a court at some point in time. Who has the authority to dictate what a cruise line can do within the United States? And there are many that speculate that if Florida continues to press for no proof of vaccination and really threatens a $5,000 per passenger fine, the cruise lines will simply leave. They'll go someplace else. They'll find other ports. And Florida will end up the loser, because it's millions and millions of dollars of income to Florida. So it's another one of those situations that are developing. And who knows which direction it's going to go. Would you object if you're going to take a cruise and you decide to contact the cruise line or your travel agent, and you begin to book your cruise, and the travel agent or the cruise line, through direct communication with you, says, please prove you've been vaccinated, what would be your response? What would be your response to the cruise line asking you for that proof if you really wanted to go on that cruise? What would be your thoughts on it? Would you give them the information? Would you try and decline? Would you quit the cruise? What would you do if they insist that you have to be vaccinated in order to board their ship? What would be your response? Now, personally, if I wanted to go on the cruise and they asked me for it, I'd give them what they want. But as a policy, what should be the policy? Should we have, as is going to be required in some European countries, a vaccine passport? Should we have some kind of QR code on your phone that says you've been vaccinated. And of course, we have to have some accommodation for those people that don't have smartphones. Should there be a test of proof? Or are we to the point where there are going to be enough people vaccinated, at least in our world, where we don't have to do that? And then is it another intrusion on your privacy by government or by private industry, for that matter, to ask? Let's go to our phones. Paul is in Saginaw. Paul, good morning.
Good morning, Art. And change the subject a little bit. I heard on the TV news here within the last couple of days that the city of Flint, which has double the population of the city of Saginaw, has a city budget of $71 million, whereas the city of Saginaw, which is half the population of the city of Flint, has a budget of $100 million. And I had your fact checker check that out before I talked to you. So those numbers are pretty accurate.
Well, except for one thing.
So,
except for one thing.
What's that?
City of Flint doesn't have a budget. They haven't been able to
have a budget.
They haven't been able to pass it.
The proposed budget is $71 million.
Whatever, they don't have it. They're already in violation of their own city charter by not having that budget.
Right. But those are the numbers that they're working with right now. So my question is, what is Saginaw spent to be almost double of Flint's budget? Is it legacy costs or is it something else?
Well, it's not going to be one thing. It's going to be a combination.
Well, have you got any ideas what they're spending on that's double the city of Flint?
No, I'm going to have to check and see, because numbers, you have to have.
It could be legacy costs.
Well, I'm sure part of it is legacy costs, but you have to know what the various numbers are and where they're going before you can comment on it. And I can't comment on that because I don't know.
I don't know. Only half the size of Flint.
Well, it may be, but they may have other money outside the budget too. I don't know. So I'm not going to comment on it.
Okay.
Simple. But right now they don't have a budget. They got to get that act together before we even talk about a budget down there.
Right.
So
the other thing I was going to talk about, I
quick.
talked to my cousin in Chicago, and he talked to a University of Chicago researcher about the vaccines. And he was told that even though these vaccines are safe right now and working pretty good, they also weaken your immune system because they're RNA inhibitors, and that you will be required to have a booster shot pretty much every year after that.
Well, that's been discussed already. That's not new news. That's old news.
Well, he's concerned about the weakening of your immune system with these vaccines.
I haven't heard that from anybody else, so we'll find out. But right now, anyway, they're doing their job. So, all right, I got to run.
Working. Okay.
All right, Paul, take care. Bye-bye. Brian, hang on. We'll get to you after some notes here on the Art Lewis Show. And the show is sponsored by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty in Saginaw. Sellers are getting top dollar for their homes with the average of 1 day on the market. And Linda Shepard sells faster. Buyers are cash or pre-approved. She does not waste any time. Linda's easy to work with. No pressure tactics. Several years of experience. Now, Linda's a full-time agent that lives here and sells here. And her Pinnacle Realty is not a franchise. So the money stays here in your community. And buyers, the interest rates are still very low. Now's a good time. Linda Shepard watches the market closely so clients get a showing fast and have a fighting chance. She will fight for every offer every time. Give Linda a call. Whether you're selling or buying, call Linda Shepard at 989-295-7713. 295-7713. And we'll be back on the Art Lewis Show.
Social Security. You've spent your entire working life paying into it. So don't you want to get the most out of it, squeezing it for all it's worth? Jason and Carl Kreiderman and the team at Great Lakes Investment Advisors can show you ways to do that with their free. It's a great first step to learn how your Social Security benefits can play a role in your overall retirement income plan, especially because the Social Security Administration isn't able to give advice. Get your free Social Security report from Great Lakes Investment Advisors at greatlakesoffers.com/security. That's greatlakesoffers.com/security. And for more on retirement planning, tune in to Jason and Carl's radio show, Your Financial Empower Hour, every Sunday morning at 8. Firm offers insurance services, investment advisory services offered by Great Lakes Investment Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor firm in the state of Michigan. Firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. agency.
This is Dan Streeter of Rescue Ministries of Mid-Michigan. Many mothers in Mid-Michigan are struggling to make ends meet. They need a fresh start. A fresh start often begins with a hot meal, a restful night of sleep, an encouraging word for someone who cares. When you support Rescue Ministries of Mid-Michigan, homeless mothers get the help they need to ensure their families have a second chance to grow and thrive. Please go to r3monline.org to make a gift today. There's no place like home unless you don't have one.
It's the sound of a good deal. That's music.
It's new, the newly enhanced XT2 Series tractors from Cub Cadet. These lawn tractors have always set the standard for performance and comfort. Now get more strength, durability, and versatility with a strong Kawasaki engine delivering reliable power to tackle your yard, plus a 42-inch heavy-duty fabricated Aeroforce deck cutting system delivering a best-in-class cut with fewer clumps, finer clippings, and increased evenness. The tough torque hydrostatic transmission delivers no shifting. Just push the pedal and go. See the new Cub Cadet Enhanced XT2 Series tractors today at Woolfiles, Ace Hardware, 5818 State Street, Saginaw, where customers exists. Open 7 days.
It's the sound of a good deal. That's music to your ears.
The Saginaw Arts and Enrichment Commission and WSGW invite you to join in the fun at Saginaw Celebrates Summer, presented by Hemlock Semiconductor Group. Saginaw Celebrates Summer is a great way to experience the vibrancy and diversity of the community while enjoying the many events, activities, and traditions the city has to offer. Animal amphitheater shows, tea ceremonies, festivals, concerts and virtual events, art fairs, museum visits, and much more. Saginaw Celebrates Summer, presented by Hemlock Semiconductor. For a weekly list of activities, follow Saginaw Celebrates Summer on Facebook and Instagram at Arts Saginaw. And for daily keep listening to WSGW.
2020 was a challenging year, but things are looking up, including the stock market's performance. But will it last? Hi, I'm Ken Murray, Senior Advisor at Retirement Planners of America. If you are 50 or older, call us today to schedule a free consultation to learn more about our Invest and Protect strategy that is designed to help mitigate the risk of the stock market. Call us today at 800-375-1159 to schedule your free assessment. That's 800-375-1159.
You're in the Stone Specialist Studios. This is 100.5 and 790 News Radio.
And we're back here on the Art Lewis Show. Back to our phones. Brian is in Midland. Brian, good morning.
Morning, Art. Thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome.
Hey, I get where the cruise lines come off. They've had a rough time with various illnesses on cruise lines, and they're paranoid about having a communicable disease on their ship. And it's politically expedient to ask those questions right now. You can get away with it because of the population.
Well, let's understand here. The cruise lines didn't create that, though. The CDC did.
Oh, I understand that. I'm not saying that it's the cruise lines that are doing it, and I'm not picking on the cruise lines. That was just the subject of the call.
Right.
Right now, almost anybody could ask that question and get away with it in this environment.
Mm-hmm.
Any business owner can say, "Are you vaccinated?" If you're not, I'm not letting you in. But at what point do we go off the slippery slope and say, "Do you have hepatitis?
Yeah.
Do you have TB?"
Mm-hmm.
I'm a pilot, and hepatitis it's not a massive deal, but it's more than the death rate of COVID by a long shot. With pilots and aviation professionals that get hepatitis from less than cleanliness activities in the lab unit. And there was a 2003 report, Flight Safety Foundation put it out about the number of pilots and aviation professionals in general that have had long-term health effects because of getting hepatitis. Now, I'm just using that as an example, hepatitis, because I know that one. But when are we going to start asking questions about everything else? And are we going to just throw HIPAA out the window?
No, listen, those are all fair questions. They're all fair questions. And I'm not smart enough to have the answers. I think that I think what will happen is we will reach a point in time where enough people are vaccinated that the question becomes moot. But, you know, in the same way that it is with some of these other diseases, you don't ask people about TB anymore because for the most part, not 100%, but for the most part, it's been dealt with. So who knows? I don't know. I personally now, if they wanted to put some kind of mark on my passport that says I'm vaccinated, if I volunteer to give them the information, fine. If they demand the information from me, I'm not so sure.
You know, what if they want a tattoo on your forehead?
Not going to happen. You have to realize this. You called with good points, Brian, but you don't want to carry it to that point because then the credibility begins to wane. When you start saying things like tattoo on the forehead, you know.
This whole thing has snowballed over the time period, and even with the decreasing numbers, there's still a lot of fear and, in some cases, abuse of that fear for control. I mean, you look at the differences in states and what things are happening.
Absolutely. You know, that's true. That's true. And there is, it is worrisome that we don't have a cohesive plan of attack, so to speak. I would agree, but
and what I worry about is that difference in the driving force of those differences. Is it for political power? Is it for financial gain? Or is it just truly, I believe something different than you do? And knowing politicians, I believe it's probably not the latter.
No, it's when you look at it and you look at what's happening where, it's almost all political. It's almost all left versus right, red versus blue.
Differences, though.
Yeah, but I'm saying those are the reasons, though. It's almost all political differences.
When you see the differences in how the policies have affected public health, death rates, hospitalization rates,
it's not
data doesn't.
It's not uniform across the board.
Yeah, but the medical data isn't supporting the politics.
But that's why I say it's not uniform across the board, because in some places it does and in some places it doesn't. It's not uniform.
Yeah.
So
all right.
Anyway,
thank you.
We'll watch it because we have to. I mean, it's important that we do. All right, that opens up the lines. We'll take a pause. Be back with Mark and Pinconning when we return.
If you're thinking that the UPS store is only about packing and shipping,
I sort of was.
Here's something else you should know. Mailboxing services. A real street address is just the ing to give your business that professional image.
I hadn't thought about that.
Once you see every ing we can do for your small business, it'll have you rethinking the UPS store.
I think I already have.
The UPS store. Every ing for small business. All in one place.
The UPS store.
The UPS store franchise locations are independently owned and operated. Services priced.
For more details, check out the UPS store and the Green Acres Plaza in Saginaw or at theupsstore.com/3451.
And the winner is...
Who doesn't love to win? Now you can win big at Wildfire Credit Union with the Great Loan Payoff. Finance any secured or signature loan at Wildfire from May through August, and Wildfire might just pay it off up to $50,000. That's right, they are paying off a loan up to $50,000 for one lucky winner, maybe even me. Loans must be approved by noon on August 31st to qualify. The Wildfire Great Loan Payoff Drawing takes place in September. The winner will be notified immediately. Anyone who finances your loan through Wildfire from May through August wins big with great rates and terms.
It's easy and convenient to apply. Just ask for Wildfire financing at your dealership. Apply online or directly at your nearest Wildfire branch. The Great Loan Payoff, now through August, only at Wildfire. Wildfire Credit Union, distinctively better. Loans subject to credit approval, restrictions apply. Visit wildfirecu.org/payoff for details.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider and are only available if the provider determines a prescription is appropriate. Subscription required. Additional restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
My husband's ED was affecting our marriage. When he first started experiencing ED, of us, we didn't know who to talk to about it or where to get help. HIMSS was our answer. HIMSS connected my husband with a licensed provider online. He was able to get medication to treat his ED at a fraction of the price people pay for the name brand. It was delivered to our door, and guess what? Our sex life is back. It works.
Right now, get your first online provider's visit totally free when you go to forhims.com/love. Yep, free. No copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Just the care you need.
Thanks to HIMSS, we got our sex life and our marriage back.
To start your free online visit, go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/love for your free online visit. FOR8.com/LOVE.
Pick it up, guys. Pick it
At
up.
Bowles Builders, demand is through the roof. To keep up, his business needs a stronger foundation.
Cut the saw, all right? Just one sec. Bowles Builders, this is Bow. This weekend? Yeah, we can do it.
Indeed can help him hire the people he needs.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, this is Mike Avery, Outdoor Magazine. First, Chad Stewart of the DNR talks about upcoming changes in the whitetail season. Then Dave Mull on kayak fishing. In hour number 2, it's summertime coyote hunting with Randy Booty of Savage Dog Outdoors. Jim Francis from the DNR talks about registering your muskies. And in hour number 3, extreme long-range shooting expert Paul Phillips. Listen Sunday mornings at 9 on 100.5 and 790 WSGW.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show,
I guess we'll try to make sense of it all. That is a very, very difficult job. We will have fun.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5. News Radio WSGW.
Back with you on the Art Lewis Show, and back to our phones. Mark is in Pinconning. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How are you, sir?
Good.
Hey, just bouncing off last caller. As far as shots and you know, having passports and all that, what about the asymptomatic individual out there that has already had it? I mean, why would they have to go and get a shot to prove that they don't have it when potentially they already had it? And
yep, that's an interesting question.
Immune system.
It's an interesting
So
question.
It's going to come down. Yeah, it might come down to that. And then yesterday you had a gentleman on the Secretary of State that was pretty planting his flag on the appointments. I don't know if you remember that call or not.
Yep.
You know, we make appointments for dental, we make appointments for vision, we make appointments for medical.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of appointments we make. I just didn't understand why he was pretty upset about
Well,
that yesterday.
the reason is when you go to your dentist, you have the work done, you pay for the work, or your insurance pays for the work. His point is taxpayers already pay the bill. We should be able to use it whenever we want to use it, any way we want to use it. I'm not sure that's totally realistic. I think there does need to be some accommodation for walk-in traffic. But just a wide open, go back to what it was. I don't think it was very efficient before, to tell you the truth. I think this is a better efficiency. But, you know, if we had, for example, a window of walk-in from 1 to 3 in the afternoon, let's say, you know, or some accommodation that along those lines, I'd be in favor of that, a hybrid type system. because they've had appointments, and I've used the appointments, and they've been very, very effective. I like them.
Right.
So,
yeah,
who knows? But that's, basically what he's saying is we've already paid for it. We should be able to do what we want with it. So on we go.
All right. All right, my friends, stay cool out there. It's a little warm.
Yeah. All right. Good enough. Take care, Mark.
Yep.
Bye-bye now. And that opens the lines for you. Got a few minutes left this hour to chat with you about whatever's on your mind. We will find out in the next few days about how well President Biden does on the diplomacy front. He's meeting with Boris Johnson today in Britain. He's meeting with a lot of our allies and one adversary, of course, and that is Vladimir Putin. It's going to be interesting to see what comes out of it. Is he going to stand up to Putin, talk about the hacking attacks and all of those things? Going to be interesting. It's his first foray into the world of diplomacy as president, and let's not discount the fact he's been around the horn as senator and vice president. He was involved in a lot of those things, so he understands, the role and all of that. But it's just it's a whole new position that he's in, and he's making comments like the U.S. is back, and that's all political because they didn't like anything that Donald Trump did at all. They've tried to reverse everything that Donald Trump did, and they viewed the things that Trump did as against our allies and against our associations, against NATO and all of those things. So, from a political standpoint, I thoroughly understand what he's doing because it's all politics. They don't want any semblance of Donald Trump at all, even though he did many things that were probably needed to be done. But now he's going to face these European leaders and others and, try and, as he sees it, make peace. But I'll be more interested in not so much what he talks about with the allies as to what he talks about with Putin. I think that will be the tell as to how well he will do when it comes to diplomacy. Let's take a moment to talk to you about cars. Auto dealers are running pretty thin on new ones right now, and there is a huge market for used vehicles, and a lot of dealers are thin on those. Not so at the Thalen Auto Group in Bay City. They probably have, if not the largest, one of the largest selections of used cars in the Great Lakes Bay region because they have all their dealerships right there on North Euclid Avenue, from the Chrysler, Dodge, Ram truck dealership, the Kia dealership, the Subaru dealership, the Volkswagen, Audi, and Mazda dealership, the Honda dealership. They have all of their used inventory within that span of North Euclid Avenue. So you can see hundreds of cars, everything from premium luxury cars to trucks and SUVs to everyday drivers. You're going to find all price ranges at Thalen. They search the market for the lowest price on those cars. That's the price they pass along to you. They do that because it's the right thing to do. Visit the Thalen Auto Group today on North Euclid Avenue in Bay City, or view their inventory online at thinkthalen.com. Then test drive the vehicle of your dreams. Sit down with a Thalen representative and see how easy it is to make your dreams come true, and don't worry about credit. Even if you're having credit situations right now, they can help you. The Thalen Auto Group has been serving the automotive needs of the Great Lakes Bay region for 44 years. They're now in their third generation of family ownership. Stop in, visit them today. Thalen.
You work for results. That's why the Enlist Weed Control System gives you flexible tank mixing, near zero, a wide application window, and proven weed control. Because the Enlist system was built for your results. Get better weed control with no ifs, ands, or buts at Enlist.com. Enlist.com. You get work done with integrity. And with the Enlist system, you'll get powerful weed control and absolutely no nonsense. For weed control with no ifs, ands, or buts, visit Enlist.com. Enlist.com. With the Enlist system, you get herbicides without the nonsense. That's more dead weeds, less BS. With no ifs, ands, or buts at Enlist.com. Enlist.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for Big E's Sports Grill in Midland. You are going to get a $25 gift certificate for only $12.50. Big E's Sports Grill has 2 patios, 30 beers on tap, including the Moose Brew, half-pound prime Angus burgers, hand-tossed pizzas with the option of getting a cauliflower crust, and don't forget the nearly famous nacho, big enough for 2, but you might not want to share. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Region 7 Area Agency on Aging has focused on helping our citizens and providing them with a wide range of free services, from helping you find the right drug plan to helping your loved ones get innovative care at home with access to in-home medical care, medical transportation, and so much more. Call the Region 7 Area Agency on Aging today at 800-858-1637 or visit us online at region7aaa.org.
All right, that'll do it for this hour of the Art Lewis Show. More coming up next hour. We'll start out talking about the Scleroderma Foundation, and then we'll move on to more open phones. All of that ahead after the news. Talk to you then.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. President Biden and British Prime Minister Boris Johnson are about to begin a sit-down in England on the first full day of Mr. Biden's week-long European trip. Among the issues they're expected to discuss, easing pandemic travel restrictions between the two countries. Correspondent Nancy Cordes is in Cornwall.
Most aren't allowed to travel to the U.S. due to COVID, and many U.S. residents have to quarantine for 5 to 10 days when they come here.
The White House has announced the U.S. will send 500 million Pfizer COVID vaccine doses to other countries. Spokeswoman Jen Psaki tells CBS this morning.
This is going to be distributed through COVAX, which is an international organization that will make sure it's distributed equitably and to the countries that need help the most.
There may be another vaccine approved for teenagers in the U.S. soon. Moderna has applied to the FDA for emergency use authorization. Right now, Pfizer's are the only approved shots for 12 to 15-year-olds. Or things like food and clothing cost, the Consumer Price Index is up 5%. That's the fastest rate of increase in almost 13 years. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
There is some concern that although the Federal Reserve believes that these price increases are temporary, that they could persist. Most economists that I'm speaking to say we really need more data to understand what the pace of inflation is going to look like over the next 12 months.
Analysts put part of the blame and construction material. 2020 was a banner year for scammers.
The Better Business Bureau says Americans had $227 million stolen from them in fake sweepstakes, prize, and lottery scams, a 33% increase from the year before. Kathy Chapman's 84-year-old father in Michigan fell victim when someone called claiming to be from Publishers Clearinghouse.
He said, I just have to pay some taxes and fees, and then I'm going to get this big prize. And how it works.
He lost $72,000. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
People are leaving the beach in New England with black gunk sticking to their feet. And now we know why. CBS's Jim Krasula explains.
A gross black mass that bugged people at normally pristine beaches on the southern coast of Maine turned out to be millions of dead insects. One marine biologist says he's never seen anything like it in his 35 years on the job. He's not sure what kind of bugs they were or where they came from.
Unemployment claims have hit another pandemic low. They fell another 9,000 last week. S&P has hit a record high. 7. This is CBS News.
Looking to hire? Indeed will help you speed up the process. They have 135 skills tests to help you find the right candidates faster. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
I'm attorney Jerry Reif, and I have practiced elder law, estate planning, asset and business protection planning in Michigan for over 3 decades. As a veteran, I've also helped veterans and their spouses benefit from special VA programs. Many of you have attended my monthly workshops where you have learned the rules, what solutions work, and had your questions answered, such as, can I protect my stuff from the government and long-term care costs? What is the difference between revocable and irrevocable trusts? How can I avoid probate? And do I need to? Should I give my stuff to the kids or others? Work. Get answers to your questions.
If your planning is more than 5 years old, you may have missed some great opportunities. Call 989-790-1461 to attend Attorney Jerry Rice's free workshop, How to Protect Your Stuff in 3 Easy Steps. This workshop is on Thursday, June 17th at 2 o'clock in Saginaw at the Capolco Community Credit Union. Call 989-790-1461 today or register online at jerryrifelawyer.com.
If you're thinking that the UPS store is only about packing and shipping,
I sort of was.
Here's something else you should know. A real street address is just the ing to give your business that professional image.
I hadn't thought about that.
Once you see every ing we can do for your small business, it'll have you rethinking the UPS store.
I think I already have.
The UPS store. Every ing for small business. All in one place.
The UPS store.
The UPS store franchise locations are independently owned and operated. Services, pricing, and hours may vary. See Center for details.
For more details, check out the UPS store in the Green Acres Plaza in Saginaw or at theupsstore.com/3451.
Slither into the Saginaw Children's Zoo and you never know who you might see at an animal meet and greet at an amphitheater show. Visit new barnyard friends, llamas, Bandana and Charlie, and Rainforest Run Playground and Fossil Finder open this year. And remember to take your ride on the ADA accessible train and carousel. We will see you at the zoo this year.
Saginaw Children's Zoo.
How do you do?
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom. This is WSGW News.
Mostly sunny skies and 74 degrees at 10:05. Good morning. Mark Percha. The City of Midland Parks and Recreation Department will briefly close the lake in Stratford Woods Park today to treat the lake for algal blooms. It's being done as a proactive measure to keep uncontrolled algae from leading to fish die-off and adversely impacting water quality. Algal blooms can also make people and animals sick if they ingest or touch the affected water. For safety reasons, people and animals should avoid all water contact, such as swimming and fishing, for 24 hours while the treatment runs its course. The beach will reopen tomorrow. Bangor Township is launching a new curbside recycling program in partnership with the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy and national nonprofit The Recycling. Here's WSGW's Ann Williams.
The township is starting the recycling project's Feet on the Street cart tagging recycling campaign this month, featuring awareness and outreach activities. It's an effort to improve the quality of recycled materials by providing residents personalized and real-time curbside recycling education and feedback. Better quality recyclables means items are guaranteed to be turned into new products or packaging, while also reducing the amount of non-recyclables in recycling bins. The Recycling Partnership has brought the Feet on the Street program to 70 communities across the country, resulting in an average 27% increase in quality recycling. The township is among more than 100 Michigan communities that received grants for the program. Ann Williams, News Radio, 100.5 and 790.
WSGW News Time, 10:07.
And the winner is...
I love to win, and one of us can win big at Wildfire Credit Union with the Great Loan Payoff.
Finance any secured or signature loan at Wildfire from May through August, and Wildfire might just pay it off up to $50,000. That's right, paying off a loan up to $50,000 for one lucky winner. Loans must be approved by noon on August 31st to qualify. Great loan payoff drawing takes place in September. The winner will be notified immediately. And honestly, everyone who finances a secured or signature loan through Wildfire from May 1st through August 31st, 2021 wins big with great rates and terms.
It's easy and convenient to apply. Just ask for Wildfire financing at your dealership. Apply online or directly at your nearest Wildfire branch. The great loan payoff, now through August, only at Wildfire. Wildfire Credit Union, distinctively better. Loans subject to credit approval, restrictions apply. Visit wildfirecu.org/payoff for details.
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. Action lawsuit has been filed against the city of Detroit and Gethsemane cemetery managers over improper burials. The 18-page lawsuit alleges gross misconduct in failing to provide adequate burial services and maintenance of plots at the Eastside Cemetery. The lawsuit claims burial plots were double sold, many headstones were dug up and moved, and that some graves were relocated without notifying the family. It comes as federal and local authorities have been digging up grave sites at the cemetery to determine if bodies are buried in the proper place. Traverse City area public schools will release early for the rest of the week because of high temperatures, and Michigan News Network's Rob Mason with this report.
Due to the hot weather, early release days for all schools will be implemented on Thursday and Friday of this week. This will allow daily in-person instruction to continue during the cooler part of the day, while taking into consideration the well-being of staff and students. This change in schedule will not impact the district's last 3 days of school next week, including the last day of school, a half day, next Wednesday. Rob Mason, the Michigan News Network.
A wildfire in northern Michigan has burned an estimated 130 acres of land. Firefighters spent hours yesterday battling land leased by Camp Grayling, a military training facility in Crawford County. The fire spread quickly, growing to more than 120 acres within an hour of it being reported. There were no evacuations or threats to nearby structures. Crews are expected to be cleaning up for several days. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 1010. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Sunny skies today, mid-80s, east slight chance for showers late. Partly cloudy tonight, 65 for your low. We're in the upper 80s for Friday. Lots of sunshine with a light east-northeast wind. Few high clouds move in for Friday night as we drop to 64. Sunny skies and 85 for the forecast on Saturday. Could see some spotty showers during the afternoon. Sunshine expected on Sunday as temperatures warm into the upper 80s, 84 in sun on Monday. I'm meteorologist Mandy Faluber with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently 79.
Now, the only local radio with a chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Good morning and welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. We'll be hearing from Farm Director Terry Henney, who's out and about this morning. He's up at Maple Hill Nursery, and we will chat with him later on in the hour. We're going to start out, though, talking about Scleroderma Awareness Month, and we're going to do that with someone from the Scleroderma Foundation, who will now introduce herself this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Art. Thank you so much for having me. It is an honor to be on your radio show today.
And we're glad to have you with us. Tell everybody your name.
Art, I am Laura Dyas. I'm the executive director of the Scleroderma Foundation Michigan chapter. And Art, we serve all those people living with scleroderma in Michigan. Art, there are over 11,000 people that we're aware of in the state living with this disease.
Let's, I think we need to start with a bit of an overview of scleroderma itself. Not everybody knows what it is, so tell us about the disease.
Our scleroderma is a chronic, disabling connective tissue disorder, and it results from an overproduction of collagen. The word scleroderma actually means the hardening of skin. That's typically one of the manifestations that most people are familiar with. But scleroderma is so much more complex. It can affect many of the areas of the body, including the heart, the kidneys, the lungs, the gastro symptoms. Regretfully, we have no known cause or cure, though we're doing really great research to try and correct that. The disease disproportionately affects women and minorities. African Americans are at a higher risk of developing systemic scleroderma, and women account for about 80% of our diagnosis, though we now are seeing so many more juveniles, young people that are affected with the disease.
If I were to come upon somebody with scleroderma, would I be able to visualize it? Would I see it? Is it one of those diseases that manifests itself in visual form?
That's a great question, Art. Thank you for asking that. You know, there is a typical look with scleroderma. Some people call it the facelift. It's a very tightening of the skin, tightening of the facial. The lips get very thin. Sometimes the nose get thin. But the thing about scleroderma is I could line up 20 people and it would look very different on everybody. And that's what makes it such a complex disease for our incredible medical professionals out there attempting to diagnose this. And diagnosis can take 3 to 5 years sometimes for people to find out that they actually have the disease. And that can be very challenging. We know that the estimated total impact of scleroderma in the United States is about 1.5 billion annually, and that makes the direct cost for treatment about 460 million annually, which is a lot of money right now. And that's why June is Scleroderma Awareness Month. We want people out there to know that life with scleroderma is challenging. It challenges the internal organs, the breathing, the swallowing, walking, skin, hands, speaking, smiling, eating. For people living with it, just holding objects, tying shoes, making a bed, doing laundry, opening a pop can, brushing their teeth, all of these things that you and we take for granted, we do every day very easily. For somebody living with scleroderma, those are very challenging. Some of our patients will have contoured hands. They can't do the things that you and I can do. They can't walk in a grocery store because of the cold effects. And 95% of our patient population have something called Raynaud's phenomenon that makes the cold very challenging. So on a day like today, where we're all enjoying the heat, air conditioned for them can become very challenging. And they have gloves on, they have layers on, and that can make it very difficult to live with a disease like this.
You mentioned there's no cause or cure known anyway. Are there treatments for the symptoms?
You know, there are some treatments, but they treat the symptoms. They don't actually treat the disease right now. And we're really working hard to raise funds so that we can change that, so that we can have drugs to actually treat scleroderma and not just treat the symptoms.
We do a lot of research for the big diseases, cancer, heart, all of those things. How much research is being done on scleroderma?
We have so many wonderful researchers out there that are looking to try to do the research, but our funding is lagging. And that's something that the Scleroderma Foundation is a champion out there trying to raise the money. But Art, as you can imagine, the funding does lag. And that's something that we're working hard. We just, right now in June, we have our Stampede Scleroderma Walk. It had to go virtual because of COVID and the pandemic. We want to keep our patient population safe. But But right now we're about $75,000 shy of our goal. So we're trying to make up that money. We're trying to raise those funds right now because the funds go directly to our threefold mission of support, education, and research. So right now we're trying to raise that extra $75,000 so that we can get the research and get those answers.
And if someone wanted to donate, how would they do that?
They'd go to our website, Art. It's www.scleroderma.org/Michigan. And Michigan is spelled out.
And tell them how to spell scleroderma.
It's SCLERODERMA. Hard word, hard disease.
So let me ask about COVID. You mentioned it.
Mm-hmm.
What impact did COVID-19 have on scleroderma patients? We know how it's affected your income as a foundation. What effect has it had on the patients themselves?
For our patients, there's a sense of isolation. Obviously, they're still not coming out. COVID is certainly challenging for anybody with an autoimmune disease. They can't be out and about. They can't be circulating because—
Can they be vaccinated?
Some of our patients, based on their work with their own medical teams, are finding that a vaccination is an answer for them. Others are not yet, and those are things that we always encourage our patients to go ahead and talk to their own medical teams to learn what the best answer for them are. For those that are vaccinated, they're still cautious. They're wearing their masks. They're social distancing, not going out. COVID impacted certainly having to do a teleconference for their medical doctor appointments, which is challenging for somebody with scleroderma. It's hard to be virtual on a medical appointment when you really need to be face to face, not being able to see family, not being able to see friends, that social isolation. Our support groups had to go virtual. And they need that interaction. They need to, get that education, be with other people living with the disease, to learn how to manage it, to learn more about, what they're living with and how to manage it best.
All right, Laura, hang on. I'm going to take a break. Come back. We'll talk more about the foundation and the services it provides. And we are talking about scleroderma during Scleroderma Awareness Month here on WSGW. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll also hear from Terry Henney, who's up at Maple Hill Nursery. We'll be back after these notes.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider and are only available if the provider determines a prescription is appropriate. Subscription required. Additional restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
My husband's ED was affecting our marriage. When he first started experiencing ED, it was difficult for both of us. We didn't know who to talk to about it or where to get help. HIMSS was our answer. HIMSS connected my husband with a licensed provider online. He was able to get medication to treat his ED at a fraction of the price people pay for the name brand. And guess what? Our sex life is back. It works.
Right now, get your first online provider's visit totally free when you go to forhims.com/love. Yep, free. No copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Just the care you need.
Thanks to HIMSS, we got our sex life and our marriage back.
To start your free online visit, go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/love. That's forhims.com/love for your free online visit. forhims.com/LOVE.
Kick off summer with this free community event, Concert for a Cause. Join singer Cherie Williams along with the Robert Lee Review Band, Lori and the Lefties, and the Sheriff's Band. There will be food trucks and family games. Bring your lunch here, and don't forget your friends. Thursday, June 17th from 5 p.m. until 8:30 p.m. in the Y Courtyard overlooking the Saginaw River. The YMCA of Saginaw, strengthening your community for 1 year.
Guys, stop putting your love life on hold. U.S. Pharmacy has some exciting news. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect time. Call today and receive 90 little blue or little yellow pills for only $119 with free shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscription services when we can give you what you want now? Call 800-990-6271. And we'll rush your order discreetly packaged to your door. That's 800-990-6271.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened higher and the S&P 500 rose to a record in early trading, even though investors are seeing signs of a bigger than expected jump in inflation after the consumer price index rose 5% in the year ending in May. The increase from April to May was 0.6%. Both those readings and food and energy were hotter than forecast. But the job market continues to show signs of improvement. The number of people filing for unemployment benefits declined by 9,000 last week to 376,000, another pandemic low. And the European Central Bank will continue its stimulus for the economy there. Tesla is expected to reveal its high-end plaid luxury sports car later today. Tesla shares are higher. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Need the perfect Father's Day gift? Get them a shirt from Untuck It. To be worn untucked so they feel comfortable and look sharp all day. They also come in sizes and fits for every body, so you can easily find something in his size. This Father's Day, find the perfect present for dad at untuckit.com or one of 80 plus Untuck It stores nationwide. Use code DAD20 for 20% off your first purchase. Untuck It, shirts designed to be worn untucked.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. UDACY.
Line drive over the glove of leaping long in right field. Badu around third, heading home, and he will score without a throw. Robbie Grossman delivers a run. 3-0 Tigers in the fifth.
The Tigers play 12:50 today on 790 News Radio WSGW.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to summer. The calendar doesn't say it, but just step outside like you have been the past few days. Summer is here, and we're welcoming you to summer as we broadcast today from Maple Hill Nursery at 2672 North Eastman Road in Midland. More and more outdoor living sets have been Hill. Great gift ideas for dad. Remember, Father's Day, not this weekend, but next weekend. All you've got to do is stop by their location here on Eastman Road and have a fun shopping experience. They've got an exciting selection of quality brands and unique items. Pollywood Furniture, they're exclusive with Pollywood Furniture, where you never have to paint. 18 different colors to choose from. Adirondack chairs, they've got them. They've got dozens and dozens of Adirondack chairs, and of course dining outdoors in style with al fresco home. It's all on display for you to see. 2672 North Eastman Road in Midland. Stop by and see us as we continue our broadcast right through the farm show today.
All right, we're back with you. We're talking to Laura from the Scleroderma Foundation, Scleroderma Awareness Month. So, Laura, let's talk about the foundation and the services you provide.
Thank you. The Scleroderma Foundation in Michigan, we are 42 years old this year, and we've been in the state of Michigan working with persons living with scleroderma, providing education. We do virtual webinars. We have support groups throughout the state of Michigan. Right now, obviously, we're meeting virtually. And once we are allowed to go back in person, then we have in-person events. We have our large Stampede Scleroderma in-person event at the Detroit Zoo every year. That brings almost 1,200 people together for a fun day, to celebrate, Scleroderma Awareness Month, to get education, to have a chance to meet with other people living with the disease. We also educate medical students around the state about scleroderma at a grassroots effort when they are in the first, few years of their education, so that they can go on to diagnose patients in various settings. And most importantly, the Scleroderma Foundation has a peer review research program, and this really funds clinical research. It helps new investigators so that we can find a cure, because that's ultimately we want. We have young patients, we have, women that are in their childbearing ages, 80% of our population, that are being diagnosed with this disease, and their life is changing. So, we really want to get ultimately to find a cure so that someone in your family, all of your listeners can potentially be affected. 1 out of 906 Americans we know are affected by scleroderma, but their loved ones are, their family members, and their lives are changed forever. And we really believe that our statistics don't tell the whole story, that there are many more people with this disease.
Do we know if heredity plays a part in this? If previous generations had it, is it likely to show up in a newer generation?
We know that the prevalence of scleroderma is 13 times higher in first-degree relatives with individuals with scleroderma than in the general population. But we're still not really sure of, what's that magic combination? Is it genetics? Is it environmental? But again, we have some great researchers out there getting us closer every day to those answers.
With whatever symptomatic treatments are available, can someone with scleroderma go about leading a normal life?
For some, this disease, certainly they can. For others, it can be a very disabling and fatal disease. So it's going to be different for everybody. And I think that's what's so challenging for the researchers is for 20 people that we line up, it can have such a different, take for everybody. But again, those researchers are working incredibly hard every day to get us closer to that cure. So if it is somebody in your family that's diagnosed, there is so much hope. There are, drugs that they can help with the symptoms. And it doesn't mean that that's your journey. Your journey with scleroderma can be very different. Work with a medical team, call our chapter and let us help you, create the perfect medical team for you. We've got great resources, whether it's for your mental health, for your medical team. There are incredible doctors in our state of Michigan that can help you, live the fullest life with scleroderma.
Well, like many other diseases, it impacts not only the person that has the disease, but those that care for them. What do caregivers have to know? And is there a contagious element?
There is not a contagious element, and that's so important that people know that if you meet someone with scleroderma, you can hug them, you can shake their hands. Though for our patient population, their hands can be contoured, they can be very painful, they can have ulcers. And so when you touch their hands, you want to do that very gently. You want to ask them, first to find out more about how the disease affects them, but they're not contagious. And the best thing I love about working with people with scleroderma is their positivity and how they are just living with this disease to the fullest, and they don't let scleroderma define them. And they're out there being advocates for the disease, educating people. And their caregivers are too. And as a caregiver, we offer support to you also. So if you're somebody that's, caregiving for a loved one living with the disease, please reach out to me. I can help you. I can provide you with resources. There's things that we can do to work with you and your family. You're not alone. And I think that's the most important thing that you should know is you're not alone. There are things that we can do to help you. And I personally, that's my mission. That's what I've been doing for almost 13 years. And I love working with this patient population.
Is it an adult onset disease or do youngsters have it?
No, children as young as, infancy can be diagnosed with the disease, Art. So, I think that's something that's very important that people understand is that primary age group is women 30 to 50, but young children can be diagnosed. And men also are 20% of the male population, so often are not talked about, but they are afflicted, just as bad.
Are there degrees of scleroderma? Does one person have a very, very mild version? Somebody else may have a more serious version?
Yeah, it definitely can impact people very differently. We at our walk, when we have, almost 1,200 people, you can see the different degrees of scleroderma. Some people are, internally afflicted, and other people have it externally. And I think that's something that some people will say, no one knows that I have scleroderma because it's just affecting me internally. And externally, I look so healthy that people don't understand the pain, fatigue, or, the challenges that they may have with their lungs or their GI systems.
So if someone wants to contact you because they need help, let's start there. How would they do that?
You can contact me through my email, and it's LD as in David, YAS as in Sam, at scleroderma.org. And scleroderma is spelled SCLERODERMA.
And derma usually refers to the skin.
It does.
Part of it?
It does, yes.
Yeah. And is there a phone number they call, or are you better off doing it on the website or email?
Email me. I answer emails 7 days a week. I answer very quickly. So if you email me, give me a phone number, I will be happy to contact you immediately and start working with you, your family, to give you the answers and the solutions that I can best provide for you.
And then finally, let's again give them the website for donations.
The website is www.scleroderma.org/Michigan. Michigan spelled out. And again, scleroderma is spelled SCLERODERMA.
Well, Laura, thanks for spending a little time with us this morning and talking about it. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for creating a little bit of awareness. And again, anybody out there listening, if you know somebody or you learn about somebody having scleroderma, please don't hesitate to contact the Michigan chapter. We're here to make a difference in your life and to help you live with the disease to the best of your ability. Art, you have a great day.
You too, Laura. Take care.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. Laura is the executive director of the Scleroderma Foundation in Michigan. We thank her for her time this morning. Open phones for the remainder of the hour. Saginaw Bay City, 752-6111. Toll free, 866-790. WSGW. Take a moment to tell you about Krizak's House Family Restaurant. Proud to be a business that serves the area with the finest in dining and takeout services, and grateful for all of you who have supported them. And they are happy to be serving all of you again. Every day is takeout day at Krizak's, today from 11 to 7, Friday and Saturday 11 to 8. Krizak's House Family Restaurant at the corner of Cass and Michigan on Bay City's south side. Closed on Mondays. For takeouts and reservations for parties and events, call 894-5531. Krizak's. We'll be back after these notes.
Summer is a great time to get away. How far away is up to you. Let Capocco Community Credit Union help you get where you want to go with a vacation or staycation loan. See a Capocco Community Credit Union loan officer today and ask how they can help. Whether it's a faraway land or a little getaway close to home, a vacation or staycation is easy with Capocco Community Credit Union. Find out more at capocco.org, member NCUA.
RocketGrabPlus.com. The days of paying full price are over. And at RocketGrabPlus.com, we are always here to give you the you need. You can get tons of half-off deals going on right now from Cafe 13, JB's Market, Woody's Hot Dogs, King's Fish and more, Beer Garden, and High Country Jumpers. Half off? You bet. It's all at RocketGrabPlus.com. RocketGrabPlus.com.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider and are only available if the provider determines a prescription is appropriate. Subscription required. Additional restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
My husband's ED was affecting our marriage. When he first started experiencing ED, it was difficult for both of us. We didn't know who to talk to about it or where to get help. HIMSS was our answer. HIMSS connected my husband with a licensed provider online. He was able to get medication to treat his ED at a fraction of the price people pay for the name brand. It was delivered to our door, and guess what? Our sex life is back. It works.
Right now, get your first online provider's visit totally free when you go to forhims.com/love. Yep, free. No copay, no awkward face-to-face conversations. Just the care you need.
Thanks to HIMSS, we got our sex life and our marriage back.
To start your free online visit, go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/love. That's forhims.com/love for your free online visit. forhims.com/love.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month, but you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learning.
The WSGW Morning Team Show.
The WSGW online poll, Women and the Military Draft. The question of whether or not register for the draft when turning age 18, as men are required to do now, that has popped up again. The Supreme Court has announced it will not hear any case regarding this matter. They say the court has a long-standing deference to Congress on matters of national defense and military affairs. The Senate Armed Services Committee actually held a hearing on this issue recently, but any desire for the lawmakers to pursue any change is still uncertain. Our poll question, should women be required to register for the draft as men are required to do? It's a simple yes, it's a simple no, or it's a simple I'm not sure. That's what we want to know from you. The WSW online poll, you go to WSW.com, scroll down that homepage, find the online poll box, and make your votes.
The Morning Team Show, weekdays 5:30 to 9 on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com. From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
And we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show. Open phones for the remainder of the hour. We've got a caller waiting, so we'll go right there. Susan is in Saginaw. Susan, good morning to you.
Good morning. First of all, I'd like to thank you for having the lady on to talk about scleroderma.
Oh, okay. You're welcome.
My husband was one of the few men that had scleroderma. And it's a very strange disease. One day they can be, up and healthy and moving around, and the next day they can't get out of bed. So I wish I had known about her when I was taking care of him, because at times it's very lonely for the caretaker.
Yeah, I imagine that's true.
You don't have anybody to talk to. Nobody understands what you're going through, and I'm just glad that it was put out there this morning.
Well, obviously it didn't help you during your time as a caregiver, but hopefully for those in the future, it will provide some solace that there is somebody there that they can talk to, and an organization where they can get help.
Oh, yeah. And like I said, my husband was the one that had it, and there's very few men.
Right.
So, and he did at one time. He belonged to a group of scleroderma patients that met like once a month. But at that time, the spouses didn't meet.
Was his external or internal?
Both.
Both? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
He lost his lungs. He had a lung transplant. He was one of the first patients to have a lung transplant, and because his lungs were almost totally gone.
Wow.
And when they did the lung transplant, they could only give him one lung because he wouldn't be able to be on the table long enough to get two.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a blessing because it kept him alive for 14 and a half more years.
Wow.
And
yeah, that was a blessing.
And the thing is it never went back into his lungs.
Yeah. I'll tell you, Susan, I'm grateful, first of all, you're calling and sharing this, because a lot of times when we do programs like this, we talk to somebody from the foundation. It's about the money they need and the events they're doing. And yeah, we talk a little bit about the disease, but it's in the abstract sometimes. We talk about the foundation, but it's the human impact that we don't often hear when we have those conversations. You bring that human impact to us.
Yeah.
It gives it gives a certain amount of reality to the situation. We appreciate that. We're sorry for it at the same time, but we appreciate the fact that you can come forward and talk about it.
Oh yeah. I like to inform people as much as I can, and I like to talk to people about signing the back of their driver's license.
Yeah.
For donations like their lungs, their heart.
Well, if you have the time or the desire, it might behoove you to send Laura an email, just to let her know you're out there and what you're doing, because I'm sure she'd appreciate hearing from you.
Okay, could you give me her?
Yeah, it's LDYAS. LDYAS.
Yes.
At Scleroderma.org.
Okay.
I'd send her a note. Tell her you came on afterwards and did this. She'd be appreciative.
Okay. Okay, and I want to thank you again.
No, you're welcome. Thank you for calling. We appreciate it.
All right. Have a good day.
Thank you, Susan. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
It is true when we do these shows to get the word out about these various ailments and illnesses that affect many, many people in our society, whether it's the big ones that we all know about or something like scleroderma, which is not as forefront. It takes that humanization of it. Susan just humanized it for us. She brought it down to the street level, to reality. And we appreciate that. All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back from this break, we'll also hear from Terry Henney, who is up at Maple Hill Nursery. All of that is ahead here on the Art Lewis Show.
This is Dan Streeter of Rescue Ministries of Mid-Michigan. Many mothers in Mid-Michigan are struggling to make ends meet. They need a fresh start. A fresh start often begins with a hot meal, a restful night of sleep, an encouraging word for someone who cares. When you support Rescue Ministries of Mid-Michigan, homeless mothers get the help they need to ensure their families have a second chance to grow. And r3monline.org to make a gift today. There's no place like home unless you don't have one.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Did you know that over 90% of male enhancement pills are virtually the same thing that's repackaged, redone over and over again? Why settle for the same old product when you can get something completely different? Something that takes male enhancement into the 21st century. Something that really works. Men, you need to try Noxitril, the all-natural male enhancement formula that will unlock your performance in the bedroom to a level you could only dream of. Try to imagine Viagra on steroids. Noxitril is so powerful, that's why it took years for it to finally become available to the public without a prescription. So call now and take advantage of our special Noxitril free bottle offer today. Oh yeah, we recommend that you use the Noxitril dose as directed. Think of your partner. We certainly don't want you to overperform in the bedroom.
Call now and find out how to get a free bottle of Noxitril while supplies last. Call 800-230-2915. That's 800-230-2915. Free bottles from 800-230-2915. 800-230-2915.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for Big E's Sports Grill in Midland. You are going to get a $25 gift certificate for only $12.50. Big E's Sports Grill has 2 patios, 30 beers on tap, including the Moose Brew, half-pound prime Angus burgers, hand-tossed pizzas with the option of getting a cauliflower crust, and don't forget the nearly famous nacho, big enough for 2, but you might not want to share. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal. RocketGrabPlus.com.
Hi, everybody. Terry Henney broadcasting from Maple Hill Nursery in Midland. We're located on North Eastman Road, about a mile and a half or so north of the Midland Mall. What a great opportunity for you to stop by and take a look at all of the sets, outdoor living sets at Maple Hill. They pride themselves in a huge selection, and they've got them, and they're getting almost every week. You'll have an excellent opportunity to variety of outdoor in-style dining sets from Alfresco Home. You can choose from many different styles and sizes. They have free setup and local delivery as well. Oh yeah, and don't forget, Father's Day is just around the corner. Dad would love to sit in outdoor comfort and enjoy one of these living sets from Maple Hill Nursery. And they should, if they've got it in stock, they'll have it for Father's Day. Also, Weber Grills. They have free setup and delivery on all in-stock barbecue at Maple Hill Nursery, 2672 North Eastman Road in Midland. Stop by and see us.
All right, Terry, thank you. And we'll hear from Terry next hour again, and then on his farm show from Maple Hill Nursery. The Art Lewis Show, still have time to squeeze a call or two in if you want to get with us. Saginaw Bay City, 752-6111. Toll free 866-790-WSGW. The CDC has just announced that Michigan's health department and the city of Detroit's health department are going to receive over $40 million in funding to address disparities in the pandemic treatment in those communities, underserved, minority communities, tribal communities, the like. The money will be handed out by regions as needed. $40 million. So that's a plus for the state, and good news for the underserved areas that they might get some more help. It'll be handled by local health departments who are on the front line of the pandemic. Boy, I'll tell you what, Vice President Harris ran into a buzzsaw on this trip to the Triangle countries, Guatemala and the like. She went to Guatemala and Mexico. She made some comments that not only gave her critics ammunition, but left her allies scratching their heads. It's pretty interesting who came out against. You'll remember in Guatemala, she told Guatemalans, don't come. Well, that rankled the hairs on the back and neck of AOC and the mob, who are just the opposite. They want everybody to come and have no borders. And then in her interview with Lester Holt the other night, and she was asked why she hasn't been to the border. And her answer was really evasive. Oh, we've been to the border, but Holt said, you haven't been to the border. And she gave up this really flippant answer about, well, I haven't been to Europe either. And it really, it not only rankled those who are critics, because they were going to criticize it anyway, but she gave them ammunition. But her own party, members of her own party, came out scratching their heads. This was not a good start. Some of the members of her own party and staff, what have you, were saying that the trip was an absolute disaster. It didn't accomplish anything that it was supposed to accomplish. And that was a little surprising, because I think while, there are critics that point out the weaknesses of Joe Biden all the time, most people haven't gone after Kamala Harris because while they may not like her politically, they don't necessarily view her with the same attitude they view the president. Many of his critics view him as inept and other things, but you don't hear that very often about her. This trip did nothing to shore up her reputation. Absolutely nothing. It was ill. The thing about it that's surprising, she and her staff had to know when they went in to sit down with Lester Holt that he was going to ask why she hadn't been to the border. They had to know that because it's been a topic of conversation for probably 2 months. Yet they did not prepare for it. That was, to me, that was the stunner. I mean, the answer itself was flippant and bad enough. But the stunner to me was that the staff of ostensibly paid political operatives and professionals weren't smart enough to know that she was going to get asked that question and that she didn't have a better answer prepared. I found that shocking. Totally shocking. It just seemed like the whole trip was ill-scripted, if you will. And I don't think did her any favors, reputation-wise. Didn't do the administration any favors, and did nothing to stem the problem at the border. I mean, there was nothing there. I mean, if she took money down to Guatemala because the people down there live in poverty and they need the funding and all of that, they're not going to see any of it. You know it's going to go into the pockets of the leadership in Guatemala, corrupt as they are. El Salvador, Venezuela, places like that, Nicaragua. Can you really trust these people with big money? No. And not much came out of the Mexico visit. So this was not a stellar occasion for Kamala Harris, the vice president. And doesn't bode well on her first foreign trip. And now we have Joe Biden on his first foreign trip. The difference for him is, as vice president and senator, he's been on many of those. He probably has a pretty good idea what to expect. And he's probably better prepared when he sits down with Johnson, as he's doing now, Boris Johnson, and Vladimir Putin later on. That's going to be the real test. But this was not a good exercise for Kamala Harris. That is for sure. All right, let us take a break, come back, and then we will close out this hour. And by the way, on Focus today, we're going to talk to John Shelton from Zehnder's. And the Bavarian Festival is going on, just started. We'll start this afternoon, I think at 5 o'clock. We'll talk to John about that and also Zehnder's and maybe employment opportunities at Zehnder's. All ahead here on WSGW. We'll be back.
These days, nearly every small business owner is looking for ways to cut costs. And that's where Spectrum Business comes in. They have the best business internet and phone that are up to half off what you're paying now. That's right. You can cut costs for your business and get faster internet. Just what small businesses need right now. Call 833-919-2129 and get all the value with none of the nonsense. That's Spectrum Business. 833-919-2129.
Social Security. You've spent your entire working life paying into it. So don't you want to get the most out of it, squeezing it for all it's worth? Jason and Carl Kreiderman and the team at Great Lakes Investment Advisors can show you ways to do that with their free Social Security report. It's a great first step to benefits can play a role in your overall retirement income plan, especially because the Social Security Administration isn't able to give advice. Get your free Social Security report from Great Lakes Investment Advisors at greatlakesoffers.com/security. That's greatlakesoffers.com/security. And for more on retirement planning, tune in to Jason and Carl's radio show, Your Financial Empower Hour, every Sunday morning at 8. Firm offers insurance services, investment advisory services offered by Great Lakes Investment Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor firm in the state of Michigan. Firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Is your credit card debt piling up? Pacific Debt can help. Pacific Debt is the nation's friendliest debt settlement company. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and thousands of 5-star reviews on sites like Trustpilot and Best Company, they can settle your debt for a fraction of what you owe. In fact, they've settled over $300 million, helping people just like you. Get a monthly program payment, upfront fees. Get free information now. 800-281-9981. 800-281-9981.
All right, that'll do it for this edition of the Art Lewis Show. Thanks for being with us here on WSGW. Wanted to mention one quick thing that's happening. A little bit of a reminder back in the 60s in the Cuban Missile Crisis. Apparently, Iran is sending some ships to Venezuela and Cuba, believed to be with arms. And the U.S. has warned Venezuela and Cuba to turn away Iranian ships. Not sure they're going to do that, but the warning has been sent. So something else to watch out for. All right, we'll be back tomorrow with open phones for you for the entire 2 hours tomorrow on the Art Lewis Show. And as I said, we'll be talking to John Shelton from Zehnder's coming up on Focus right after the news. But before that, CBS News coming up at the top of the hour to keep you up to date on the national and international news. And we'll have the WSGW local news on the Great Lakes Bay region and the state of Michigan. And then we'll be back with Focus. Talk to you right after the news.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Facet Wealth.
I'm Steve Cathan. The English seaside is the picturesque meeting with British Prime Minister Boris Johnson.
Mr. President, welcome you to Cornwall. It's a great pleasure to be here. Fantastic to see you.
And CBS News White House correspondent Nancy Cordes.
They're going to talk about climate. They are going to talk about transatlantic air travel today. That's a big issue. You know, UK residents who want to go to the U.S. are still, by and large, barred from doing so due to COVID. And even U.S. residents traveling here to the UK have to quarantine.
The U.S. wants other countries at the G7 to commit to vaccinating lower-income nations. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki tells CBS this morning the administration's deal to donate 500 million Pfizer COVID doses is significant.
It's a huge announcement, and we're in this position because we've had so much success at home vaccinating Americans. We've vaccinated a greater percentage of people in the United States than any other country in the world. So we're here because of that.
CBS's Jim Krasula tells us there's some evidence the lingering pandemic could be having an impact on higher education.
At U.S. colleges dropped 5% for the spring quarter over pandemic concerns. The National Student Clearinghouse Research Center says California led the nation in higher ed enrollment loss with a decrease of 123,000 students, followed by New York, Michigan, Illinois, and Pennsylvania.
The inflation fears surface yet again with word that consumer prices rose in May and shot up 5% over the past year, the largest increase since 2008. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
The core rate of inflation, which takes out food and energy because those are quite volatile, also rose. The 12-month core rate of inflation increased to 3.8%. That's a 29-year high.
Video evidence is part of a lawsuit in Arkansas filed by a woman whose car was deliberately bumped by a trooper in a state patrol car who was trying to execute a traffic stop. CBS's Jerika Duncan.
The maneuver caused the SUV to spin on the inside wall and flip.
Man, you've got to pull over when we stop. It doesn't matter, ma'am.
I thought it would be safer to wait until the exit.
No, ma'am, you should pull over when law enforcement stops you, okay?
But an Arkansas state driver's license guide says when being stopped by law enforcement, you should activate your turn signal or emergency flashers to indicate to the officer that you are seeking a safe place to stop.
The wife of Mexican drug lord El Chapo Guzman has pleaded guilty in Washington to trafficking and other charges. Wall Street right now, the Dow is up 64 points. This is CBS News.
Facet Wealth, personalized and affordable financial planning for everyday Americans. No wealth or asset minimums. Quality financial advice for every stage of your life.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person. Why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Guys, stop putting your love life on hold. U.S. Pharmacy has some exciting news. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect time. Call today and receive 90 little blue or little yellow pills for shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscription services when we can give you what you want now? Call 800-990-6271 and we'll rush your order discreetly packaged to your door. Been thinking about trying Viagra or Cialis? Call U.S. Pharmacy at 800-990-6271 for as little as only $119 for 90 pills. Need your package in a hurry? Call 800-990-6271 and ask about our express shipping option, and we'll rush your order to you as soon as possible. Save money on the little blue or yellow pill you've been wanting to try. Again, 800-990-6271 now. That's 800-990-6271.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom. This is WSGW News.
Skies and 80 degrees at 11:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. Bangor Township School District has announced plans to return to traditional in-person learning in the fall. The district said with COVID-19 cases declining and restrictions relaxing, they plan a full return to a normal routine on August 30th. The district has removed desk shields for the rest of the current school year and says it hopes to be mask-free in the near future. Their announcement included a thank you to families and the community for supporting students and their well-being during a difficult school year. The Midland Planning Department staff invites community members to join them for a stroll through St. Andrews neighborhood next Thursday, June 17th, as an interactive part of the Midland City Modern Master Planning process. The walk will start at 6 p.m. at the Grace A. Dow Memorial Library on West St. Andrews, returning around 7 p.m. During the 1-mile walk, people are encouraged to share what they see discuss their visions for the future of the community. Discussion topics will include items related to healthy neighborhoods, walkability, building accessibility, and the impact design has on safety, home values, and social connections. Frankenmuth's Bavarian Festival takes over downtown today with a big tent set up along Main Street. Some aspects of this year's festival will be different as labor shortage forces some businesses and events to adapt because of the pandemic. The festival goes live at 5 o'clock. Sponsors, businesses, and volunteers have responded to help to make the festival happen this year. Activities continue through the weekend, highlighted by the Bavarian Festival Parade. WSGW News Time, 11:07.
Hi, break time?
I know you.
I'm Cologuard, a prescription colon cancer screening option for people 45 plus at average risk. It seems like you take care of yourself.
I do. I play tennis. I try to eat well.
Cancer.
Not yet.
Don't wait. Colon cancer is more treatable when it's caught in early stages.
Tell me more.
Cologuard is non-invasive and is used at home. It detects altered DNA in your stool to find 92% of colon cancers.
92%?
Yep, even those in early stages.
This was seen in a clinical study with patients 50 and older. Any positive result should be followed by a diagnostic colonoscopy. False positive and negative results may occur. Cologuard is not a replacement for colonoscopy in high-risk patients. Do not use if you have had adenomas, have inflammatory bowel disease and certain hereditary syndromes, or a personal or family history of colon cancer.
Most insured patients pay $0. Ask your provider or an online prescriber if Cologuard is right for you, or visit requestcologuard.com.
I'm on it.
Excellent.
WSGW News Time, 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. A suburban Detroit high school student has been charged as an adult in the stabbing of another student inside a classroom. The prosecutor's office says the 15-year-old was arraigned Wednesday on one count of assault with intent to murder. His bond has been set at $500,000. The stabbing occurred June 1st at East Point High School. Police have said the victim is also 15 and both students are acquainted with one another. The wounded teen was stabbed multiple times and was hospitalized. The suspect was arrested after a short foot chase with police who recovered a knife believed to have been used in the stabbing. Restoration of a house once used in the Underground Railroad is nearing completion in Walled Lake in Metro Detroit. The Foster farmhouse was originally built in the 1830s. It has been going on for several months. Here's William Winkle with the Detroit Historical Society.
I want people to see the house and see the work that was done. I want them to realize just how extraordinary it was that these folks helped runaways. This wasn't a thing where there'd be an outpost on every block or in every town even. This was people risking their lives. They were risking their wealth, their families, to help strangers get a taste of freedom.
Winkle says the project will be formally unveiled Saturday, the 19th or Juneteenth, part of the 45th annual Walled Lake Beach Party and Market Day. Some last university, as of Wednesday, fully vaccinated students and staff will be allowed to go without a mask while on campus, except for when in a healthcare setting. University President Samuel Stanley Jr. made the announcement in a letter to students this week. Those who are not vaccinated will have to continue wearing masks indoors and distance from others. The university is using daily health screening, a form for people to self-verify their vaccination status before coming to campus. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 1110. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your meteorology forecast. Sunny skies today, mid-80s, east winds 5 to 10, and a slight chance for showers late. Partly cloudy tonight, 65 for your low. In the upper 80s for Friday, lots of sunshine with a light east-northeast wind. Few high clouds move in for Friday night as we drop to 64. Sunny skies and 85 for the forecast on Saturday. Could see some spotty showers during the afternoon. Sunshine expected on Sunday as temperatures warm into the upper 80s. 84 and sun on Monday. I'm meteorologist Mandy Faluber with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Currently 82.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW. and online, WSGW.com. Focus is brought to you by Northeastern Paint Home Decorating Centers in Saginaw and Bay City. For all your home decorating needs, trust Northeastern Paint Supply, serving you since 1959.
And a good morning. Welcome to another edition of Focus. Also during this half hour, we will hear from Terry Henney up at Maple Hill Nursery and also on his farm show. We're going to take you to Frankenmuth, though, today, where the Bavarian Festival gets underway. And we are pleased to welcome to the program from Zehnder's of Frankenmuth. We say good morning to John Shelton. John, good morning to you.
Art, good morning. How are you, my friend?
I am doing fine. I hope you are too.
I'm doing fabulous.
You all ready?
Excited to be on your show. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. You all ready for the festival tonight?
Actually, yeah. We're trying to get dotting the I's, crossing the T's. It actually officially starts, tonight with the... and then tomorrow, the street party starts, pulls off Main Street here in Frankenmuth, and there's all kinds of activities we're going to be doing on our front porch at Zehnder's, our tap room craft beer party on the north side of our building, as I mentioned, the front porch. That goes from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's an ongoing party, we like to say. Enjoy the beer garden atmosphere. We'll have cold drinks, beers, brats, breadsticks, sweet treats, and more. Entertainment by the band Whiskey Biscuit from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. That's going to be right in our tap room. Right next door at Zehnder Park is going to be the activities for the festival group, and all of their entertainment takes place there, as well as behind Tiffany's, which is just kind of the north of us in the northwest parking lot. So lots of things going on this weekend, and should be a lot of fun.
It's an exciting time, to say the least. John, Zehnder's one of the highest grossing restaurants in the United States. Pandemic had to have devastating impact on the restaurant. How are you doing now?
Oh, well, you know what? We actually are in very, very good shape and sense, if not exceeding our 2019 sales projections. So, it was rough for the industry, for everybody. Not just our industry, but we were hit very, very hard in 2020. But, we were able to manage through that. We were able to survive that. And we think there's a lot of pent-up demand. We had one of the busiest Memorial Day weekends we've ever had in the history of our company. Frankenmuth was very, very busy over that holiday weekend. We had a very, very strong May. Percentages were up, and June seems to be going just as well, and we project a very, very strong summer season. Again, I think there's just so much built-up demand that people haven't had the opportunity for the last 15 months to do much art, and I think people are just looking forward to having the opportunity to get amongst family and friends in a wonderful family atmosphere.
One of the things the Zehnder's reputation was built on, not only the good food, but good service. How are you doing with the labor situation?
Well, we have our challenges, but the biggest, I think, we have a deep bench. We have about 700 employees throughout company-wide, and one of the things we've always done in the history of our company that made us very effective is the cross-training of a lot of our employees. So whether you are a waitress or waiter here at Zehnder's restaurant, you can go and fill in a need that might be at Zehnder Splash Village. And somebody at Zehnder Splash Village may be able to fill a need that's over at the Fortress Golf Course, and vice versa. So we have the ability to kind of move people around within the company. We do have job openings. We're looking at different incentive programs for our current employees as well. Right now, because we're still only under limitations of 50% capacity, we're able to manage it very, very well. So we're trying to gear up for the busy summer season starting in July 1st. There are no limitations. So we plan to be open all of our dining rooms at 100% seating capacity. And so we have the workforce to do that, but it's not sustainable to try to have people trying to work 6-7 days a week. So we have to kind of build that up where we're allowing people to have, obviously, days off and so forth, just to make sure that they're keeping healthy physically as well as mentally. We all need a break. We all need rest to kind of recharge that battery. So we're just trying trying to shore up the bench, to use a sports analogy. But our HR department is working really hard, and we feel good about where we're at.
If someone's interested in employment with Zehnder's, what should they do?
Well, they can go online at www.zenders.com, fill out an application. We'll process that, give you a call right within. Stop by here at Zehnder's Restaurant, fill out an application, and or give us a call to find out the best way to set up an opportunity to speak with somebody from our human resources. And they can call us at our 800 number, 800-863-7999. So we're trying to make it, and we're here 24/7 pretty much, and so we try to make it very convenient people to reach out to us. And those who have an opportunity to be employed with us or are looking for something to do, we have many positions available for.
All right, hang on, John. I got to take a break. We'll come back. We're talking to John Shelton from Zehnder's in Frankenmuth. More ahead.
Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center. We're more than a custom paint store. We have everything you need. From carpet to lighting, it's all here. With quality and safety. Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center.
Since 1959, count them, that's 62 years, Northeastern Paint Supply has been serving the Tri-Cities. We have the most knowledgeable staff in the area, offering you the highest quality products in the industry. Benjamin Moore Paints, Hunter Douglas Blinds, Quazell and Kitchener Lighting, Flooring from Flooring America, fireplace doors, gas logs, and custom-made rugs. It's all here under one roof. Northeastern Paint Supply, Saginaw and Bay City.
Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center.
Summer is a great time to get away. How far away is up to you. Let Capoco Community Credit Union help you get where you want to go with a vacation or staycation loan. See a Capoco Community Credit Union loan officer today and ask how they can help, whether it's a faraway land or a little getaway close to home. Staycation is easy with Capoco Community Credit Union. Find out more at capoco.org, member NCUA.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
The days of paying full price are over. And at RocketGrabPlus.com, we are always here to give you the killer deals you need. You can get tons of half-off deals going on right now from Cafe 13, JB's Market, Woody's Hot Dogs, King's Fish and More, Beer Garden, and High Country Jumpers. Half off? You bet. It's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Now there's Inspire, the only FDA-approved obstructive sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body to treat the root cause of sleep apnea with just the click of a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Visit InspireSleep.com to learn more.
This is the Stone Specialist Studios, 100.5 News Radio WSGW, 790 News Radio WSGW.
Hi, everybody. Trying to think of something for Dad for Father's Day? Look no further than Maple Hill Nursery. That's where we're broadcasting from this morning. 2672 North Eastman Road, north of the Midland Mall. Why should you come here? First of all, outdoor living. They have got a huge inventory of outdoor living sets that you can take a look at, you can choose from, you can order, or in some cases, you can have it packed up and ready to go. They'll deliver it for you. They'll set it up for you as well. Great gift ideas for Dad if he enjoys the backyard, the patio, and he wants to sit out there and relax in comfort. And incidentally, you can do that too. It's real easy. Just talk to the experts here at Maple Hill, and they'll give you the need and the foresight to get that to your backyard. Remember, great gift ideas come from Maple Hill Nursery, 2672 North Eastman Road in Midland. Farm Show coming up next.
And we'll listen for you, Terry, broadcasting from Maple Hill. We're talking to John Zehnder from John Shelton. I had my chef buddy on my mind there, John.
And by the way, speaking of your good friend John Zehnder and our former food and beverage director chef, he was just going to be inducted into the American Culinary Federation Hall of Fame. I don't know if he told you that yet.
Oh, no, I hadn't talked to him recently.
Reach out to him and congratulate him.
And is he still coming in part-time, or is he fully retired now?
He's pretty much retired now.
Pretty much retired.
His influence is still here. And so that's a testament to what he's been able to do for our company from a culinary standpoint, and was always very, very hands-on, making sure our culinary team would not miss a beat when he wasn't here. And we're seeing that today. So
that was his passion.
Testament to his great work.
His passion, not only putting out good food, but training people to put out good food. He was a big believer.
Absolutely right.
He is a big
believer.
believer.
To benefit from that today.
Yep. Let's talk, now that the pandemic hopefully is waning and things are going to get back to normal, are you planning ahead for events? Zehnders and Frankenmuth.
We're back online. In fact, we're having our first dinner show even this month, because once we're able to get to at least 50% capacity with no limit, meaning that before the restrictions where you can have no more than 100 people in a space, and yet no more than 6 people at the table. Well, that's all been lifted now, and so we're actually having our Ragtime Festival June 23rd through the 25th. We've already had one summer tea back in May. We've got another tea scheduled at the Fortress for June 26th. And that's $55 per person. We have our Zehnder's craft beer dinner today. That sold out with over 80 people. So we have in July events going on. We have our kids camp that's sold out for June and July. So we're, come July 1st, with no limitations, we're back on track. It was great to see. We had 3 motor coaches having dinner with us on Monday.
Oh, wow.
We hadn't seen motor coaches in over 15 months, but we have our fall programs. We have our fall tea. We're going to be doing our dueling piano. So we've got our Christmas show that's now available. We're going back to breakfast and lunch with Santa, holiday tea breakfast. All those things are back on full board, and we're very excited to be able to offer these things to our customer base and to the public, because they've been asking for it, and we've been wanting to give it to them. So it's just good to see things kind of changing for the better.
If someone wants to keep track of all that information, you have a website, I assume.
.com, and you just go to our homepage and click on events, and it'll give you a listing throughout the end of this year. In fact, we are in preparation of trying to put our 2022 calendar up on the website, and actually putting together in the next few weeks the 2022 brochure. So we are, and that's one of the things I would say, Art, that we use this time during the pandemic, always still forward thinking and planning ahead. We never knew when the light switch was going to be turned on, but we always kept saying to ourselves, when it is, we need to be prepared and ready to go from day one.
Yeah.
And that's really what we were always working towards.
And you mentioned 3 motor coaches coming in. It'll be nice when the Canadian border opens, because that's a big hunk.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I was just going to say our next market share opportunity is going to be when the Canadian border. Now, I'm hearing rumors. We're trying to say June 22nd is a possibility of some limitations being eased up a little bit and kind of a little bit more. I don't know what that means yet, but we're closely watching it. And so but once, you're absolutely right. Again, once we can start tapping into, and that's really about 10-15% of our business.
Yeah.
So it's very valuable.
Yeah.
And so, but other than until obviously they're allowing Canadians to go back and forth. Now, I shouldn't say that. You can do it now, but once you do that, you have to quarantine for 14 days.
Yeah, that's the problem.
So it's just
right.
it's
not practical.
Yeah. It's not practical. Exactly. So
Well,
we're hoping sooner than later.
I'm looking forward to next week, because on the 16th, we're going to be out at the Fortress with the Rescue Ministries in mid-Michigan. Looking forward to that.
Looking forward to hosting that. Are you playing, or are you just
I'm playing. Are you kidding?
All right. So should I tell our grounds team to be extra prepared for you, or what?
They can follow me around and fix it. John,
do you plan to bring your A game, or are they going to have to rescue you?
My game is a little farther down the alphabet than that. We'll leave it there.
But it's going to be good just getting out. And, I always tell people a bad day on the golf course still beats a good day in the office.
You got it, my friend.
Right?
John,
so you come out and have a good time. I look forward to I'm glad you told me that. I'll personally stop by. Look forward to saying hello to you.
I'm looking forward to it, my friend. And thanks for being with us today. We appreciate it.
All right. Thanks for having me on.
We'll do it again.
Weekend.
Do it again, John.
Okay.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye now.
Bye now.
John Shelton from Zehnder's of Frankenmuth. We'll take a break and then be back to close out and move on to the Farm Show with Terry Henney up at Maple Hill Nursery.
Slither into the Saginaw Children's Zoo and you never know who you might see at an animal meet and greet at an amphitheater show. Visit new barnyard friends, Llamas, Bandana and Charlie, and Pig Charlotte. The Rainforest Run Playground and Fossil Finder open this year, and remember to take your ride on the ADA accessible train and carousel. We will see you at the zoo this year.
Saginaw. How do you do?
And the winner is...
Who doesn't love to win? Now you can win big at Wildfire Credit Union with the Great Loan Payoff. Finance any secured or signature loan at Wildfire from May through August, and Wildfire might just pay it off up to $50,000. That's right, they are paying off a loan up to $50,000 for one lucky winner, maybe even me. Loans must be approved by noon on August 31st to qualify. The Wildfire Great Loan Payoff drawing takes place in September. The winner will be notified immediately. Anyone who finances a secured or signature loan through Wildfire from May with great rates and terms.
It's easy and convenient to apply. Just ask for Wildfire financing at your dealership. Apply online or directly at your nearest